What's good, Wagering World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada, and here with my co-host, my guy, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, Spread Astaire? How are you?
Man, what a weekend. I mean, on top of all the winning, even De'Aaron Fox hit a game-winning shot from half court, right? So things are great here in Sacramento. Of course, things are great on the wagering world. If you watched on Friday, you got to be in a great mood like us.
Right. What a weekend, man. Saturday, I talk about some great dates in my life. November 5th is going to be one of those dates. I said I was going to have to create a plaque or something, man, and put something up in the man cave for it. I got the Astros, of course, clinching their second world title in franchise history. Did it at six like we predicted, so we got the plus 170 cash. And then on top of that, I'm the only idiot that had enough balls to take LSU money line. They hit for plus 400, just because I'm a fan and they beat Bama. And more than anything, they just won the game. That had me very happy. You know how long we've talked about Jaden Daniels and what I thought about him at Arizona State, and for him to land in my favorite school's lap and end up, being the quarterback that leads them to finally overcoming Alabama and getting us back into the championship mix is just unbelievable. And later on, we'll talk a little bit about that. Brian Kelly deserves a lot of credit for the job he's done with that team. Just a great Saturday, great weekend overall. Hit the Jets money line yesterday plus 450. It was just all types of great stuff that went on this weekend. Let's get to the past.
We're going to jump right in right now, past, present, future. And like you said, quite a weekend. A great weekend with the cash on Friday night. Oregon State took on Washington. I had NBA on one TV. I had that one on the other. Pretty good game there for the Oregon State Beavers. What'd you see there?
It went just like we thought it was going to go. We had some wet conditions. Michael Penix Jr. for Washington did a great job of still throwing that ball in wet conditions. But as we said, we knew that Kalen DeBoer and the way that Washington likes to play offense, that weather was more conducive with the style that Oregon State plays, which is ball control, running the ball. They got a kid out of Texas that's a freshman running back, Martinez. This is going to be the real deal. And he's a great running back, man. And, they tend to churn out a lot of powerful, speedy backs out of Oregon State, and he's the next one. We end up getting the cover. It worked out perfectly for us as Washington runs down the clock at the end. But the boy was shooting for the cover. He threw the ball twice within 30 seconds on us to try to get the 7 points and jump to 4.5. But luckily, they weren't able to convert and had to kick a field goal. And we ended up covering that game. But it went just like we expected with Oregon State keeping it close, playing good sound offense and defense. Great job again, as always, by their coach Jonathan Smith, doing a great job by just keeping us in the game. And he's one of those coaches that I really enjoy betting on.
All right, and then we moved to Saturday. Wisconsin was -5 taking on Maryland. What did you see there?
This one was a layup the whole way, man. I just wish I would have bet more on it.
It isn't. Is it like whenever you get it right, that's the only thing you ever think?
Oh
man, if I would have only bet more.
If I'd only bet more on this one, I did not unload on it like I should have, because as we spoke about those elements, we knew that Maryland is a finesse team. They were not going to be able to deal with Camp Randall and that crowd. And then on top of that, you add it's raining constantly and the winds at 35 miles per hour. Poor Tagovailoa, he couldn't do anything. He couldn't throw in that wind. He had to scramble anytime that Maryland made any yards. It was off of him just on second reaction scrambles. They just couldn't run their offense in the weather, and I knew that. And I knew that Braylon Allen and those guys would pound them. Their backup running back had a spectacular run of about 80 yards where he tiptoed the sidelines. And just a great win for us on that one. It was no sweat the whole game on it. Very easy win for us with Wisconsin over Maryland.
Do we want to get into this one now? Because I didn't even understand what was going on. Talk to me about Missouri and Kentucky, because that wasn't good.
That's the only game that really
I know,
upset me.
huh?
I can't believe these referees, man. I don't like how remember they used to keep a little book in their back pocket they would refer to for rules. You notice they don't have that anymore. You notice they don't even keep the little rule book with them anymore. It's because these people are making up rules as they go, man. Some of them are betting on these games. Some of them will have allegiances to these fan bases for whatever reason, from a family member or something. It's all types of stuff goes on with these SEC referees, man. SEC refs have been, them and Big 12 refs are some of the shadiest refs you're going to find. And I will never understand to this day the call that robbed us of winning this game. Kentucky gets stopped on 3 downs. It's time to punt on 4th down. Missouri's raring to get back in the game. They took the lead, but a great drive by Kentucky gets the lead back at 21-17. They're punting from their 40, trying to pin Missouri. The snap goes over the punter's head, rolls all the way back to the goal line. Missouri guys are hauling butt trying to catch the ball and try to catch the punter and tackle him before he gets the ball or before he can do anything with it. He grabs the ball and in the process of getting tackled, starts to kick. And this idiot referee calls a roughing the kicker. 50 yards away from the original snap, which is really impossible. It's a judgment call, but it's a horrible judgment call. They shouldn't even have room to make that up. After the ball has been muffed, the punter is supposed to be free game. We saw that last year. Remember the Michigan State-Michigan game a couple years ago with the Michigan punter. He muffed the ball. Michigan State's whole team just tackled him. So they let this guy, just because when they hit him, he hurt his leg because he did something dumb. He tried to kick the ball while getting tackled and hurt himself pretty badly. His leg got hurt. They had to bring the stretcher out and get him. So I hope the punter gets better. But still, the ref should not have called that after the ball is muffed, it's live. It went back 40 yards. This guy cannot pick up the ball and become not protected. It's a horrible call, and I feel like they screwed us. We would have got the ball at the 2-yard line with less than a minute left and would have been prepared to win this game. So really disappointing, and I really hate it when we lose money all because of a ref's judgment.
Yeah, but that was one of the few that we lost this weekend as we moved to Baylor +3 at OU, right? The only thing there should have taken the money line. I don't know if you sprinkled it. I just took the spread. But Baylor won, if I remember right, 38-35. And what was a pretty good game. And that was on ESPN Plus. I had to pull out the streaming network for that one. I thought a game like that would be on normal TV, but I got all those subscriptions, so it's fine with me. Fun game though. A nice Big 12 shootout. That I don't remember what the total was. Does that end up being under? Because I think that might have been a pretty high total.
I think
regardless, we got the win.
Yeah, I think it went over. It did go over.
Oh,
the total was right under 70, I want to believe. Maybe 68 or so, but just as we said, Oklahoma can't play defense, man. You know, when it comes down to playing these teams that are equal with them in talent, they can't stop anybody. And all you have to do now is figure out a way to get Dylan Gabriel and those talented receivers for Oklahoma off the field. And when you do, you have a chance of winning. And we always trust my guy over at Baylor. He's one of the best coaches in the league, as I spoke about on the previous show. He's one of those guys that I will never bet against because he's not a little rascal. He's going to do what he's supposed to do, and he's going to have his team prepared. And he did another great job with that. And once again, we were able to cash fairly easy. Baylor had control of the game. They let Oklahoma sneak back in a little bit late in the second half. The score looks a lot closer than the actual game was. Baylor pretty much dominated that game.
All right, let's move on. Notre Dame +3.5 versus Clemson. I actually didn't catch that one. What did you see there?
I bet Clemson first half with declines. Bad mistake there. I did not know Uiagalelei was going to be the quarterback again. I don't know why Dabo is trying to keep the freshman Klubnik off the field when he has such a good team around the quarterback position. Why is he living and dying with Uiagalelei just to keep this kid's red shirt available? The kid might not even stay the whole 4 years. He's that good. You know, he might end up leaving this junior year anyway. So it's just weird what Dabo's doing by forcing Uiagalelei to continue to be the quarterback, and he's hurting that team. Marcus Freeman with a great turnaround at Notre Dame. He has those guys playing, and I told you if they won this game, they would forget about that Marshall game, and believe me, they did. They stormed the field. He had a great environment at Notre Dame. They had the green pom-poms all over the stadium, and those kids came to play, especially defensively. He's starting to live up to the tab that we knew Marcus Freeman would have coming into Notre Dame as a guy who really was a program setter and a guy who really coached defense. He did the same thing in Cincinnati before moving to Notre Dame. So great job by Marcus Freeman.
All right, let's move on. The next game on the docket that we have to discuss, Georgia +9. No, Georgia was -9 at Tennessee. Tennessee was a cool little story here. But they couldn't get things done. Georgia's defense looked fantastic. I had some eyes on that one. What did you think of that one?
Yeah, I lost with that one, and I'm not even mad. I'm just the only thing that it told me was that Kirby Smart is a great coach. Simple as that. Kirby Smart is smart. He knows what he's doing. He was able to slow down the Tennessee offense, and he said in the press conference that what I noticed from the film was that a lot of people weren't making them work. You got making them work. They were getting too many layups, and that's if you notice that's what Tennessee lives off of. Josh Heupel has that offense where they hit a lot of deep balls, and they had one opportunity in the first quarter to get on top of them with their star wide receiver, and it ended up that he missed him. He overthrew him a little bit. Herden Hooker did, and after that, Georgia wasn't letting anyone else get behind them. Kirby Smart is everything that he was with Alabama when Alabama had those ridiculous defenses, and you've seen the drop off since he's left as the defensive coordinator. He's just a special type of coach, and he had those guys ready. And Georgia shows that they're still not only the defending national champs, the number one team in the country. And I can't wait if LSU can just continue their path. I can't wait till LSU plays them in the SEC championship game.
Hey, and that might be happening. Let's talk about LSU. That'll be the last of our college. Took on Alabama, and you said, "Hey, I'm not going to take the points." You took the money line. Pretty brave, but it paid off. What did you see there?
Brian Kelly, man. Beginning of the year, I was really afraid of what the future held for the Tigers this season, but Brian Kelly showed that if his team bought in to what he was selling, they'd be okay because he knows what he's doing. He's been doing it a long time. He's the one that kicked off Cincinnati's program. He's the one that left the cupboard full for Marcus Freeman to Notre Dame. And he wants to take it to another level with the right type of athletes to do what he wants to do, and that's get his first national championship. And he's on a good start by beating old man Nick like he did in Tiger Stadium. Great choice. It was a major argument amongst the fan base on Nussmeier at quarterback or Jaden Daniels, because Jaden Daniels had just pulled up. Nussmeier's a local kid and had been in the program a couple of years and showed a lot of promise. I'm so glad that Brian Kelly had the wherewithal to choose Jaden Daniels, because not only is he a great quarterback, he's a great competitor. He wants to win every game. He's willing to lay his body on the line and do whatever it takes to make that happen. Shout out Jason Taylor's son, Joy Taylor's nephew, Mason Taylor. What a tight end prospect. He's just a freshman. He looks like a grown man out there. He made two huge plays. He not only scored the touchdown that got them to OT, he also scored the touchdown, the 2-point conversion in OT to win the game. So Mason Taylor is going to be a top tight end in the National Football League. And why not look at the DNA he has with his dad being Jason Taylor? And I'm just really proud of the LSU defense. They shut down Bryce Young, gave him all types of looks. They played ball. Their cornerbacks finally played like the top corners that they are. The line was putting pressure on them. They couldn't block them. And that fan base at LSU was really giving the team the energy they need. Just an electric crowd. And the thing I love about LSU's fan base is that everyone understands football. There's no idiots out there. Nobody just out there for the vibe. They really understand what's going on, and they knew situations when to get extremely loud and when to allow their offense to run plays. Great job out of over 100,000 LSU fans out there. And somehow Brian Kelly has LSU back in the top 10. Number one in the SEC West. I knew we had the talent to do it. I didn't know Jaden Daniels would pop this quick, and most likely comes back next year. So they really are going to be good next year because they're loaded and really young. So Brian Kelly, tip of my hat. I thought the season would be a wash this year, more of a adjustment period, but he already has those guys contending. It's all about the greatness of him and the way he can run programs.
All right, and after a great Saturday. We moved on to a really fun Sunday as well. Let's start with the Patriots -5 at the Colts. I mean, it's not, some of these NFL games, they come right down to the end, right? And it can feel like a coin flip. You can't necessarily victory lap when you get it right. I felt, we both were on the Patriots correctly here, and we simply said this is a quarterback that's probably backup level. He's a rookie, and he's going against Bill Belichick. it's not a good thing. And I know that you and I aren't necessarily high on Mac Jones, but he did enough to get the win. And you know what the other thing is, right? You know what Belichick does? Fourth and 2, he kicks field goals.
That's right.
Puts points on the board. Imagine
right.
that, especially against a team that can't score. So I'll be honest, after about halftime, I kind of tuned out of that one because I knew we were going to cover. But it felt nice to just nail a pick and not have to go down to the last second and worry about a flag on every play and stuff. So what did you see with the Patriots and the Colts?
Dominance. Judon from Baltimore is what we knew he would be in Bill Belichick's defense. He's a real problem. You have to account for him. You have to find him. And he gave the Colts offense problems all day. That game, I stopped watching like you. About halftime, I knew we had it wrapped in. As long as Mac Jones didn't make a bonehead mistake and turn the ball over, we would be good. The only thing I could take from that game is why the hell did I take Jonathan Taylor #1? That's all I could get from him. I should have never took him off fantasy #1. I said that no matter what happened, I would take Cooper Kupp no matter where he was at because how good he was to me last year, and I should have because Jonathan Taylor's in a no-show. And you see how the Colts offense looks. The Colts are pretty much can throw their hands in the air for this year. They might as well go on and tank it all the way out. Try to touch one of these quarterbacks with the roster that they have. If they could get like C.J. Stroud over there, there'll be a problem. C.J. Stroud would be really good with the Indianapolis Colts playing in that dome 8 times a year with the type of system that they have, the type of offensive line they have, the type of defense they have, and the type of coach that they have. Because I think Frank Reich gets another shot. I don't blame this season on him. He had a bad choice by the GM at quarterback and a lot of injuries this season. So maybe the Indianapolis Colts jump in the quarterback business, but a real easy win for us, and it feels good to get a layup sometimes.
You mentioned C.J. Stroud. Let's talk about another Ohio State quarterback, Justin Fields. What a performance and a loss, but of course the Bears get the cover, +4, +4.5, depending on what time you got it. It didn't matter. It landed on 3 with a pretty big 2-point conversion there. I don't know why they traded away those defensive guys. That was their only problem in the game. Fields looks fantastic now. Great addition to Chase Claypool. He gives them a nice big target, which helps a young receiver, especially one that's struggling with accuracy. And I'm not going to say Fields isn't accurate. He's always throwing with one guy draped off his other arm, right? So, of course, it's hard. It's not he's sitting in the pocket there, stepping into his throw, twisting his hip like you're taught. Everything he's making it happen. That offensive line still isn't very good, and they put up 35 points. Yeah. So, I mean, Fields was a fantastic performance. That was my main takeaway from the game. Miami's great. Yes, Miami's great. Tyreek, Waddle, great players, and Bradley Chubb, great addition there. But I really thought the Bears, they went in and they tried to nuke this kid. They want a new kid, right? Because it's a new organization, and they did the old what was that movie, Major League, where they try to lose on purpose. It felt like that, right? And then the kid's been so good. Yeah, you can't deny how good he is. So I think they got their quarterback. Even in a loss, you have to be encouraged if you're a Chicago's Bears fan, and of course they do get the cover, which as gamblers is something we care about as well.
Yeah, and Ryan Poles, like you said, new regime. I could tell they did everything they could to hurt this guy first when they came in. Well, it's Eberflus. I got one picture I called it Eberflus side-eyeing him. And I'm like, what do they have against this kid? Because I know what Justin Fields can do. Because I saw him, the way that he elevated from getting part of just little different plays and packages at Georgia who didn't know how to use them correctly and going to Ohio State. A lot of people didn't even know that Justin Fields had this type of athletic talent as far as in running the ball, because at Ohio State, he sat in the pocket. He barely scrambled. He threw the ball all over the field. That's why I keep telling you guys that Justin Fields will be an MVP of this league within the next 3 to 4 years. Remember, I told you that. And it's because as soon as everything slows down and they get him an offensive line, he won't have to run unless he wants to, because he's really an accurate passer. He's a really good passer. He has a chance to be Josh Allen plus. He has a chance to be a little bit better than Allen because he has a little bit more speed than Allen has. And he actually has the same arm, but people don't know it if you didn't watch him in college. So I'm really excited to see this kid's growth, and Miami's one of the funnest teams to watch. This game is just an overbid. I took the Bears plus 4.5, and I took a money line on a parlay that I did that I wish so bad I would have took them points, and I would have been really, really smiling this weekend, like going to go buy a new car smiling. But I got greedy. I got greedy and took a money line, man.
Well, hey, if you do that, shoot me your old one.
Yeah, I got you, man. You get out, baby. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
But, I really like what Miami's doing. Tua is really underrated quarterback this year. With everything that happened with the injury, people aren't paying attention to how good he's playing. He's finally adjusted to the league. He has the right coach over there. Mike McDaniels is a corny, funny dude. Did you see the clip of him talking to Justin Fields when he was coming off the field? He was like, "Just stop. Will you just stop?" I say, this guy's hilarious, man. He's so quirky and corny, man. It's ridiculous. But he knows himself, and that's the thing I like about him. But, yeah, both these teams are headed up. The Bears have a couple seasons, but Miami is right now.
Yeah, great win for Miami to get it done. But you have to be encouraged if you're a Bears fan. The only thing you got to wonder is why did we get rid of those two guys on defense? Quinn and Roquan, that could have been the difference there. The Lions took on the Packers. Aaron Rodgers, how many interceptions in the red zone? Pretty poor performance from our guy, Aaron Rodgers there. Really tough scene for the Packers overall, as they not only don't cover, they fall straight up. What were your thoughts there?
I had the Lions plus 160 and plus 4, man.
That's nice. See, you're better at taking those money lines, man. I'll take the points, and I'm always scared to take the money lines. But I got to remember it. Well, although to be fair, usually it's the Lions that don't cover. All the other teams
usually the Lions give it up
right?
at the end. They almost did yesterday.
Yeah.
I was really worried going into the fourth quarter, especially after they got stopped and they ended up giving the ball back to Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, he's gonna just take this one play and end up doing something with it, and because all they were down was 6, he just needed one touchdown. But we saw the difference yesterday between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady throughout their whole career. They're both dealing with the same thing right now. They're both getting old. The receivers are banged up, aren't good, or too young. Brady still was able to get it done yesterday when he got that one last chance. And what did Aaron Rodgers do? What he always does, come up short. He's been doing it his whole career. He had that 1 year lightning in the bottle when they won, when no one was looking for them to win, when they won that Super Bowl. They were underdogs to the Steelers that season, and they were a wild card team, and they got on a hot run, and they ended up winning it. But besides that, every year, Aaron Rodgers always came up short, and now he doesn't even have his athletic talent that he used to have, and he's losing his confidence. He looks like a defeated man when you see him on the sidelines. This is definitely his last year, I think. I think his heart isn't in it. At least Brady's going out like a champ. He's going out, with his head high, and he isn't himself, but he's still a very prideful dude. Aaron Rodgers, man, is going out real weak, man, and I hate to see it because he's one of the greatest talents we've ever seen in the NFL. But we'll talk about this little coach in a little bit. He got another one of those little twerps over there, little rascals. So, he's from the little rascals, little crew too, LaFleur. So, yeah, it's not all on Aaron Rodgers as well. So, great job by the Lions. How do you fire this coach for the Lions? Their performances never end up in wins, but have you ever seen the Lions not give a good effort this whole season? Every game they come out and play really hard for this guy. So I don't know how you get rid of him, Dan Campbell.
I think you just got to hope that you can get some better coordinators around him. It's funny. He could actually use a little rascal because he's tough enough to where if he had a little rascal designing plays,
right.
He would make sure the team didn't just get all soft and he wouldn't make those bad decisions.
So he needs to get a better OC. I don't know who their OC is over there. I forgot, but they got a good. Their DC is good. Their defensive coordinator is good. Aaron Glenn is good. He's good. They
just have no talent on defense. They need about 10 new players.
Did you see that play that Aiden Hutchinson made?
Yeah.
It came off of rushing read the play and intercepted Rodgers. What a play! You know that kid's got a bright future. A lot of people saying he's not an end rusher. That kid is a monster, man. He has a big heart and he plays with a lot of energy and effort. And he's very smart. So Aiden Hutchinson was a great pick for the Lions. For those who are trying to say that he's not doing anything, I like him a lot, and I like where the Lions are going, man. You're still the Detroit Lions in the day. A lot of people would have just given up at this point of the season. You're 1-6. What are you playing for? The Packers kept trying to win, kept trying to score, kept pushing the ball, kept trying to, and the Lions kept pushing back and kept fighting. And that says a lot about Dan Campbell to me.
All right. The last game of the night, the Tennessee Titans. And that was a fun one for me because on all my shows on Friday, everyone was against me there when I took the Titans.
Me too.
Plus the points.
I gave it out.
And, it was just a great performance. Vrabel's my new favorite. I love Tomlin. Vrabel's right up there now with me because he just gets these guys to play hard. And if they can develop Malik Willis and keep Derrick Henry for another year or two, that'll be like the best run pass option, right? I mean, they really got something there. I don't care when Tannehill gets healthy. I think you should start looking towards next year. I mean, maybe, I don't know, do you hear Josh Allen's hurt? I mean, maybe there's a chance that they can make a run here. But I'd really like to see Malik Willis get a chance to really be developed. And even if it's only one read, I think you could put it in a lot of plays and a lot of packages to make this team dynamic in the same way that the Baltimore Ravens are. So that was a fun game. I kind of knew so I was watching and it's 17-15. And I say, if they get this 2-point, they're going to win the game. Because at that point, right, Tennessee couldn't really move the ball. But as a gambler, I didn't care because I'm sitting on plus 13, right? So it's like, fine with me, enjoyable game. It's my favorite situation to be in. I already know I'm going to cash my ticket. I just enjoy the game as a fan. And, of course, Patrick Mahomes gets it done at the end. What else did you see in that game? Because I thought that game was a lot of fun.
I read that game completely wrong. I thought with the Chiefs coming off a bye, Malik Willis with how he played it, but I forgot the main thing, Mike Vrabel. You don't give Mike Vrabel 13 points, and I know better than him. I think I was also thinking about the Buffalo game, and I got kind of caught up with that, and I thought it might snowball on him, but he's got his team playing defense. That D-line is eating. They're very hard to block on their defensive line. He's going to feed Henry. Henry might not practice all week, but he's a gamer. When it's game time, foot injury, knee injury, whatever it is, that kid's going to show up. He has his whole life. He's been a star his whole life. He's always been the big guy on the field with all the moves. You can go back to films when he was like a 7th grade, looking like a giant. And he doesn't look much different now in the NFL, running the ball against people, He's just a different type of dude, man. I respect Derrick Henry a lot. Now it's a big decision for Vrabel. Does he play the long game and say, okay, we are at 5-3. We have a very good chance of winning our division. Do we go back to our starting quarterback and really shoot for this thing and try to win the AFC? Or do we roll with the kid and let him get reps so the next year we're the real deal and a real contender? We're going to see. So either way, you can't really.
My guess is he's not going to. My guess is he'll go back to Tannehill. Yeah. But I can't wait to see. I hope that Willis gets a shot by next year.
And if he does that, I feel like it's a bad choice. And the only reason why is because if you play Tannehill this whole season, we both know that they're going to cut him at the end of the year. He's making too much money. So next year, we know Willis is going to be the starting quarterback. But now you have just a whole year development instead of him getting his development year in this year, like Justin Fields is doing. So I just really wish that they would throw him out there. And the thing about it, like you said, they know how to coach him. Against the Texans, they knew they didn't have to throw the ball or do anything. So they just kept the ball out of his hands and ran the ball. This game, they opened up the playbook a little bit more. And they played it very smart. They gave him single reads where he could show off his arm and his accuracy on deep passes. So a lot of routes this game were go routes, and his receivers didn't do him any favors. He dropped some dimes in there that they dropped. So, and his athleticism is next level. He's one of those guys who really has burst, and he's very strong, can make something happen. But right now, his passing is so limited all defensive coordinators are playing him with a spy and not respecting his passing. So, of course, they're looking for him to run, so the field isn't open. So he's going to have to start completing some passes down the field uh, and in reads so that they can, back up off him. He can really use his talent and his ability to run. But I think that you get into the Malik Willis business this year because they're in a window where Derrick Henry has, 2-3 more years of excellence, you want to say? He's getting beat up and banged up nicely. How far is he from 30? He's 27, right?
He might be a little older. I mean,
Yeah, Henry might be pushing 30, right? He might be close to 30.
Yeah, it was pretty easy the first couple years when he was with a Patriots back. Was it Deion Jones or I can't remember, but yeah, he keeps he keeps defying the odds. Every other running back that's taken the beating that he has fallen off at this point in their career, and he keeps going. So I don't want to count against him, but yeah, I think you got a quick window here, and I want to take advantage of that RPO. I want them to be like the Ravens. I think that's how they're going to win, and it fits the style that Vrabel teaches, and it fits the way that defense is set up. For them to just be a tough, hard-nosed team and just absolutely destroy you on the ground. And with everyone playing too high, it seems to me like this is going to be the next innovation in football. We got to go back to the run. If everyone wants to sell out to stop these 5 wide offenses, and you get these small linebackers that are essentially safeties, you should be running the ball against them. So we'll see how that goes. Unfortunately, I think they're going to go back to Tannehill because Vrabel seems like a win at all cost type of guy. But regardless, it was a fun game, and I always root for him. I was hoping they would get this straight up win, but that didn't happen.
I'm glad they didn't because I was able to recover my investment. I took the second half really heavy on the Chiefs, and man, it was looking bad at one time, -7.5. Their coverage was confusing Mahomes. They were bracketing Kelsey and giving him all types of problems, and he stopped trusting a couple of his receivers after some drops that he was putting it right on him. But Mahomes with another Herculean effort. Only a couple quarterbacks win that game. The way that Tennessee's defense was on him, and he's so tough, man. He doesn't get enough credit. You see, he's okay. I can't throw this thing in. I'm gonna set him up like I'm about to throw it, and I'm about to run this thing. And it don't matter who's there. I'm gonna shake him, run through him, whatever I got to do. I'm gonna score. And he scored the winner, the tying touchdown and the tying 2-point conversion with his feet, man, and really saved the day for the Chiefs, man. And then after that, they got to OT, and we knew it was pretty much over in overtime, man. Harrison Butker, I'm so tired of that guy. He's one of those kickers, he's always suspect to me, but we'll talk about him later on this year.
All right, let's move into the present because we have quite a lot of things going on still in the world of sports. The first thing is one of your favorite teams, the New Orleans Saints, is going to be hosting the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football tonight. I got an idea. Do you want to go this now, or are we saving it for Ball and Parlay?
I'll save it for Ball and Parlay.
All right, we'll table that one for now. Spoiler, that's going to be part of the Ball and Parlay. Let's talk about the Rockets, the other Houston team, +4.5 in Orlando, taking on the Magic in a battle of top picks. Jabari Smith, Paolo Banchero will take the floor. What are you thinking of this one?
I'm on Orlando in this game. My Rockets might be the worst team in the NBA right now, and it's simply because they don't get any calls offensively. The refs have no respect for them, and Jalen looks like he's taking a step back this year. He's adjusting the plan with Jabari and with KPJ, stepping up and trying to become the lead player. So you got that issue, and that's the one I always knew that was going to happen between KPJ and Jalen Green, deciding who's going to be the guy with the ball in their hand when it matters, because KPJ feels like he's the guy, especially after they paid him. He probably feels like, hey, I whoop this kid every day in practice, so they got some stuff going on. As much as it hurts me to say it, we're going to have to move off of Silas sooner or later. He's just too nice. He's too buddy with these guys. They got to find someone who these kids respect more and who can get them in some situations where they can do a better job scoring. But I'll be on Orlando this game. I like what Orlando showed. I think Orlando blows them out. I think Banchero is really motivated after all of the Houston talk.
Yeah, I haven't run my numbers yet for this game. I'll be doing that here real soon. But but it seems about right. My two takeaways from the Rockets right now, they're not playing offense as a team. There's a lot of my turn, your turn, and they have too many guys to develop. And this is the thing, and it's going to happen with OKC too. Sometimes you get up too many draft picks. You can't develop 5 guys at once. So you got KPJ, who's still coming into his own, Jalen, who's still developing, Şengün, who can develop into a star, and now Jabari. That's 4 guys that really kind of need some usage there. So the offense is looking disjointed. And then on the defensive end, and I'm not even want to blame the schemes. I just think that the kids aren't ready. Şengün's never going to be a good defender. At best, he's going to be average. I think Jalen Green and KPJ can be above average, and Jabari Smith could probably be their stopper. But nobody comes in the league. These kids are 20 years old, 21 years old, and KPJ might be 22, right? But going against 30-year-olds, right? And obviously it'd be a little different tonight going against the Magic team. But on a lot of the nights that I've seen, you're going against guys like Jokic, Jamal Murray, Devin Booker, who's 27, veteran Steph Curry, these veterans. It's really tough for this team. So I know you're high on them before the season, and I could see them get just coming together. But for right now, and I'd say probably until Christmas, this team's going to be a fade because they haven't figured out the offense yet, and they're not really able to defend at a high level. Let's talk about the Suns and the Sixers, and I'm surprised you put this one on there. Do we have news about Joel Embiid? Because I hate doing when we do these preview shows. Like when I see the Sixers on the schedule, I'm like, oh, great, because we never know whether or not he's playing. And I looked right now. Once again, he's questionable. It's always tough for me to get involved in these Sixers games without knowing he's going to be there. I always just default to, like, if he's playing, who do you like? Because this should be a real good game, but we haven't seen a lot of Embiid on the floor. And we know James Harden's out. It's set up time for Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris to soak up some of that usage. May not be the worst thing for the team overall, but they're going to need Harden healthy to make a push. If Embiid plays, who do you like in that game?
Even if he does play, I like the Suns. I like the Suns, but without James Harden, I'm on the Suns.
Okay. Yeah, no Harden for sure. Embiid, as always, we have to wait till like right before the tip to find out, which is a frustrating thing about the 76ers. I know, people like the Sixers, but to me, that's one of the toughest watches in basketball. Embiid, Harden gets all that flack. Embiid foul hunts worse than Harden.
Yeah.
And when it's Harden and a 6'3" guy doing against a guy who's 6'8", I can buy it. When you're the biggest guy on the floor and you're flopping around on that, I don't like it. The Sacramento Kings are plus 7.5. They're taking on the Warriors. Of course, they're coming off the big win that I alluded to in the opener. And boy, was that a fun game. We were getting smacked in the first half. Absolutely smacked. The Magic, I was on their subreddit. They're just having a great time. Kings fans are, all upset. And then, of course, they come back. De'Aaron Fox, what a great shot. Now, can they build off that momentum against the Warriors team that's been struggling? Now the Warriors are back at home. We know how much better they are back at home. So maybe that's bad news for the Kings. Maybe they use this as a get-right spot. And I haven't run it yet. My guess it's going to say to take the Kings, though, because the Warriors' recent results are really going to push down the way that I calculate and project these numbers. What are your thoughts here?
On this game, it's Warriors a pass for me. Maybe look at the over. Neither one of them play much defense, but the problem is for the Kings going into Chase Center is that the Warriors are going to be really motivated for this game. They've lost, 4 straight? Is that right? 3 or 4 straight games. This is their first game back home. They want to get off the schneid, and here goes a familiar team that they're used to smashing. So when they see that Kings purple jersey, they're going to, get the feeling like, hey, man, this is a couple shots start going in and start running, and you got your groove back. So, and also the Kings coming on a back-to-back too. So I'll probably go like the Warriors minus 7.5 here, but the Warriors, with the way they're playing defense, they're almost unbeatable.
Yeah. It is rough. And, they're doing some other things too. This is a championship squad. Kerr doesn't care if they lose right now. He wants to get Moody minutes. He wants to get Kuminga minutes, and he wants to get Wiseman minutes. And it makes sense. If those guys can give you 10 to 15 solid minutes in the playoffs, it's going to make such a difference. the worst thing is you take Steph out when they're up by 2, and he's only sits on the bench for 3 minutes, and they're down by 8, going against the best teams in the league. So I understand what he's doing, but it gives us an opportunity to bet against the Warriors. I'll look a little bit more into that game. My guess is I'll probably stay off it though. We have some MAC football. Ball State is plus 12 at Toledo. I know nothing about these teams. You're gonna have to take it from here.
Man, MAC action is my favorite time of the season, man. It's Wednesday, middle of the week. Easy money to pick up, man, usually. So we got 2 of them coming up. I'm going to be for sure on Ball State plus 12 against Toledo. Toledo's starting quarterback, Finn, is out. Their backup is a good player, but Ball State is just a really tough team. I like what you get out their quarterback. They have some good receivers, and they have just a sound program overall. I know that Toledo is known for being able to put up a lot of points, and they have one of the better teams. But the Ball State team is 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 meetings in Toledo. Big Ohio game. Bunch of these guys played high school football against each other. So I'll be definitely on Ball State plus 12. You can actually put that one in.
All right, Ball State plus 12. I'll put that in right now. Keep rolling over some of the cash from this weekend. Ohio at Miami of Ohio. Who do you like there?
Yeah. What Miami is dealing with is they're missing their quarterback. They just got back Gabbert, which is Blaine Gabbert's little brother, Brett Gabbert. So since he's back, that changes a lot of things for me. I didn't know if he was going to play. I just checked on it now, and they said he will play. And he's playing baby Rourke, Curtis Rourke. His older brother is the star quarterback for British Columbia Lions. So you got 2 little brothers who have professional quarterbacks as big brothers who've done a lot of teaching them and getting them ready for the game. So this game right here might end up being a shootout with both of these guys back. I'll probably go over 50.5 on this game. At first, I was going to think Ohio, but I really can't, not with Gabbert playing for Miami, Ohio, because the advantage that Ohio has at the quarterback position. But I think that both of these quarterbacks can get it in the end zone. They're both really good players and veterans. So on Ohio and Miami, Ohio, I like over 50.5.
All right, let's go to the future. We cashed, and you told me not to hedge. We didn't hedge. We wrote it out. Game 6. I think it was Jordan Alvarez hit the shot to put us up 3-1, and I felt like we had it from there on out. This team is absolutely fantastic. I enjoyed cashing that ticket. What do you have for us now?
Hey, man, I'm so happy, so thrilled. It felt so good going in there, cashing that ticket, man. We went with the sweep at first. They blew the game after being up 5 runs, so they really should have won at 5, but we saw what was going on and were able to get some value on 6. And remember, we set up for the hedge, and the hedge, I told you, I could feel the energy. Like, we don't even need to hedge this one. Let's ride out and just go pick it up, and we were able to pick up the plus 170. But I did already, actually. What happened when I cashed my plus 170 ticket, I dropped a little couple hundred on the Astros to win the World Series next year at plus 550. They're second to the Dodgers. The Dodgers are plus 500, and that's a crazy number. There's no way the Astros should be 5-1 to win it next year because Dusty Baker's already talking about he can't wait to try to do it again. He seems pretty motivated to go on one of those runs late in his career like Phil Jackson did. So I'm taking the Astros to win the championship next year, plus 550, and it felt great cashing the plus 170.
All right, I will join you on that. And hey, I'm becoming an honorary Astros fan just doing the show with you.
I'm happy to see your cap. You don't have a team in Sacramento. You might as well rock the H on your head.
I got my A's. I got my A's gear, but they're like a minor league team at this point.
They're coming to Las Vegas. When they come to Vegas, then we'll go to some games. The park's right down the street from me. Yep.
Sounds good. Let's go back to one of our favorite segments here on the Wagering World. Kick the damn extra point. And we have 2 candidates this week. Let's start in Green Bay. Why did Matt LaFleur earn it this week?
Because he scored 9 points with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. I don't care if you and I are the receivers. You got to figure out a way to outscore. You can't let the Detroit Lions, who are one of the worst defensive in football. The Detroit Lions rank last in total yards and last against the rush. You have 2 great backs They have A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones in Green Bay's backfield. You're going against the worst team against the rush in the league, and you scored 9 points with a Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. Something's going on. This guy can't coach. Simple as that. He's getting a lot of hype. Aaron Rodgers has made him look good because I always looked at that play calling like it's a bunch of lot of trickery to be having a quarterback of this standard and they just run plays. And LaFleur is showing he's one of those little rascals. He's quickly falling out of favor with the Green Bay fan base. Let's see if he has enough heart this week to take Aaron Rodgers out the game and play the backup quarterback. But LaFleur kicked the damn extra point. You can't score 9 points against the Detroit Lions.
And of course, my favorite team's coach has earned it once again. His third 17-point lead that he's blown now. I can't remember the stats, but I mean, it's like it happened in like 167 games before that. And now LaFleur's done it 3 times and one, not LaFleur. He might as well be LaFleur. McDaniels. He started off 6-0 with that one Denver team, and his coaching career has been absolutely terrible since. Just another disgusting day as a Raiders fan. My only hope is maybe we can get that pass rusher Will Anderson. Overlook at some of those D tackles from Bama, right? I mean, I'm already looking at the draft. What a disappointing year. We were so excited getting Devontae Adams and Chandler Jones, and the whole season's been a big nothing burger. What did you see from Josh McDaniels as he made Trevor Lawrence look like the next John Elway? Over 80% completion percentage for Trevor.
Josh McDaniels need to pack up his stuff and go find himself because he's not going to last.
Well, you know where he's going to find himself? Right back next to Bill.
Well, he better go because Vegas, they're pretty upset out here about him, especially as popular as Rich Biaggi was out here. And now you got this guy out here with this clown effort that he's giving. You're out-coached completely in the second half. You don't make any adjustments. You don't have anything ready, any second game plan to go to. Just horrible on his part. You know that the Raiders were a playoff team last year. They were pointing up, and then they added all of these pieces. Mark Davis spent all this money getting these different players on his team, and they're not responding to him. They don't like him, and it tells through their play. They're 2-5. So that says enough for me. After a playoff season, you get this type of performance in your second go-around. Let's hope you don't get your third go-around. So, Josh McDaniels, keep the damn extra point.
All right, let us go into the Ball and Parlay. What do you have for us tonight?
Man, I'm rolling with the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are a very difficult team to play in the Louisiana Superdome. At this point, the Saints realize that they have action at winning their division. The Bucks did win yesterday, and the Falcons lost. So now the Saints have to win tonight. It's a must-win game. I don't believe Mark Andrews will be playing for the Ravens tonight. So they're going to be missing him. They're going to be missing Gus Edwards. So it's going to be the Lamar Jackson show by itself. Is Rashard Bateman playing?
I haven't looked at NFL injuries yet. I
don't think Rashard Bateman is playing either. But regardless if he is, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters to me is that Mark Andrews is out. If Mark Andrews is out, that means that on the turn him doing a bunch of running around. Rashard Bateman is out. So you got his best receiver out and his favorite target is out. So I expect a really tough game tonight for Lamar. The Ravens are 0-3-1 against the spread on field turf. They do not play good in domes. They're an outside team. They're also 0-3-1 in their last 4 games following against the spread win. The Saints are at home. They're in the dome. They're going to be rocking. I think that the defense made a major step last week into getting back to the dominant defense that we've known over the recent years for the Saints. And I expect the Saints to get it done tonight. So take the Saints plus 1.5 in money line to win tonight on Monday Night Football.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and take the Brooklyn Nets. They're in Dallas taking on the Mavericks. And guess what? This team looks better without Kyrie Irving on the floor. Kyrie Irving retired this morning. He's gone. So,
did he announce it officially?
I don't know. I saw that on Twitter when I was sending out the promo tweets earlier, but I think he might have. But hey, I think it's better for the Nets. KD can carry this offense, and then they get a better defensive option there at point guard. Irving's career over the last 2 to 3 years, it become more of a circus. than about basketball. And it's just kind of weird that, you know, KD's to me kind of the opposite. All he seems to really care about is hoop. I've never really, of course, he'll speak out, you know, when need be, but he seems to really, he's like a hooper through and through. He loves playing basketball, and he's got this other guy with him that's incredibly talented that seems to be worried about everything but basketball. I think with that gone from the team, it's really freed up KD. He looks so good in Washington. They won 2 in a row now with Irving now, and I think they can keep this close. It's plus 6.5. We know how this goes in the NBA. Unless you're Jabari Smith, you don't foul when you're down by 5, right? With 10 seconds to go. So I think the Nets keep this one close, and I'm going to take Brooklyn to keep it close against Dallas tonight, plus 6.5.
All right, so my guy Spread's going with the Nets plus 6.5, and I'm going with the Saints plus 1.5. I don't know if Kyrie Irving retired. If he did, props to him for choosing principle over money. It's not an easy decision. Not everyone can do it. Sometimes people like to march to their own beat, and there's nothing wrong with it. Be your own man. Go do your own league. Go to another league where you don't have to follow orders. That's why every day you see me on this show, and that's why every day I'm at the bookmaker bets, because I do not want to check in with anyone. I'm actually making some hoodies called Never Suspended, because you can't suspend me. Hey, man, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're here. We're going to be at 3 times a week. Turn on your notifications. Get the winners. My guy Spread has some schedule changes, so he's going to be in and out. Sometimes we're going to be on different days than normally, but just turn on your notifications. You won't miss it. We're going to get these bets out to you. College basketball kicks off today, so you guys follow me on Twitter. I'll send out a college basketball play too. Anything for the people Spread before we get out of here?
No, let's keep winning, man. Great weekend. I want to keep this momentum going.
Let's keep this momentum going, guys. They owe us, and it's time for them to pay big. Hey, man, tune in every day. We're here. Turn on your notifications. Follow me on Twitter at 5star in Vegas. Follow my guy Spread at Spread Astaire. We'll talk to you guys in a couple of days. Best of luck to you all.